It's a great honor to be here and to be the keynote speaker. I usually do moderations or I'm the panelist. And it's quite, interesting to see myself, to be the first speaker in such a very important conference with regards to the supply chain, in particular in the maritime industry. One of the reasons that I have actually, I was very delighted to accept this invitation by the organizers. Thank you very much, Antoni, for inviting me. It was to be able to explain to you what is a sustainable maritime supply chain and to give you a little bit of understanding what are the challenges and opportunities. When we talk about sustainable supply chain, what do we mean, basically? I just want to highlight to you a little bit more about what it is about sustainable supply chain. And that refers to the design, implementation, management of the supply chain processes that minimize negative environmental, social, and economic impact while maximizing long-term value creation. And that's very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about sustainable supply chain, what we mean is that we expect in the organizations to be able to consider everybody, the whole stakeholders, the whole products and services that they actually offer and the way they actually offer it, from A to Z. From the sourcing of raw materials to the end-of-life disposal, with the goal of promoting environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and economic viability. The key aspect of the sustainable supply chain is the environmental sustainability, which in our case includes the reduction of CO2 emissions, the social responsibility, which in our case includes our employees, in particular the crew members, their well-being, their social aspect, their health and safety, and of course the economic viability, which is actually the investments, and particularly the sustainable investments that we actually need in order to be able to have this sustainable supply chain. Investments that we are required to be able to have new technologies, alternative energy, to be able, to retrofit our vessels with the latest legislations. And this is where the challenges actually are taking place. What are the challenges? So as I said before, on the environmental side, we have the carbon emission reduction. And I think this is the biggest challenge. You must agree on this, particularly with the latest regulations. On the ETS side, on the Fuel EU Maritime, the fact that the IMO has actually set up such an ambitious target that it's impossible to be able to reach. And we all know about it. And we cannot do it alone. So the biggest challenge is how we're going to achieve this by having all the other stakeholders on our side, by being able to discuss these important issues and find solutions. And then, of course, when it comes to the economic side, who is going to pay for it? Because we have two aspects in our maritime industry. One, we are the main and the responsible for the trade, for the world trade. Some people say 80%, some other people may say 90%. But what does this mean? That we are also responsible for the sustainability of this aspect. So the responsibility of the world trade in terms of sustainability relies on us. At the same time, we're not the big emitters, and this is something where we need to, we understand. But although we are not the big emitters and we are the most responsible in the trade, we are having a great challenge to find a way to have a net zero by 2050. That is going to be our biggest problem, in the years to come. And I hope this is exactly what this conference is going to include. What are going to be the roles of the ports? What will be the role of the suppliers? What will be the role of the manufacturers? What are the responsibilities? Or is it that the sustainability relies only on the ship owners' side? Is it only that the ship owners and the ship manufacturers, are responsible to create a retrofit? No. And that I can tell you coming from an oil and gas industry, as you know. Although we have also a participation in the shipping side, the responsibility definitely lies on other players, including fuel suppliers. And fuel suppliers are the ones that they need to be able to come up, let's say, with the alternative fuels, with all these technological challenges that you may think that, that they have, particularly when they were looking for biofuels, and we're looking, let's say, for raw materials, when we're looking for new technologies, that they can actually go onto the vessels, and that costs a lot of money. At the same time, we need to look at the crew that we have in our vessels. Are they prepared to actually be able to, monitor these technologies and be able, let's say, to work on these technologies? No, because we are in a completely different era at this point in time. We're going to a new era, and nobody is actually ready for this. What do we need to do? First, to talk to all the stakeholders, and this is exactly what we're doing now, to find solutions. Second, to be trained, and to be trained, everybody, not only us, but the crew members, the employees in our office. This conference is not about having some senior management coming here. This conference, there should, people, even on the, more medium and low level should come here to be able to hear, and be able to prepare themselves, because they need to put effort. The shipping industry is changing, and the supply chain in the maritime industry is changing even more. So today, I hope that we're going to hear very interesting aspects, both on the energy efficiency side, and second, on the sustainable supply chain side, to be able to come up to some kind of conclusions, Adoni, to be able to, discuss it with all the stakeholders, and at least, try to, create a path towards a more sustainable future. Thank you very much.